On February 15, 2026, Ukraine attacked the Tamaneftegaz oil terminal in Russia. This was the third attack in 60 days, but this time it was different. They used the Flamingo, a domestically produced cruise missile, with an impressive range of 3,000 kilometers. It seems like just another attack, right? Not when you understand what's at stake. This terminal processes 20 million tons of oil per year and is 15 kilometers from the Crimean Bridge. It's one of the most critical points of the Russian war machine in the south, and that's why it's protected by multiple layers of air defense. But there's something that almost no one noticed. While the terminal was burning, another attack was happening simultaneously, an attack that didn't cause visible fire from space, but that explains how that missile reached the target. And most importantly, it reveals why Russia can't stop this from happening again. First, let me show you what happened that night near Kacha, in occupied Crimea. 200 kilometers from the burning terminal, a Pantsir S-1 system was destroyed. According to a report from Ukrainian military intelligence published on the same day as the attack, this system is worth between $15 and $20 million. It's mobile, combines automatic cannons and missiles, and was designed to do one thing: shoot down drones and low-flying cruise missiles. It's exactly the kind of system that should have prevented the attack on the terminal. But when you lose a Pantsir, you don't just lose $15 million. You create a permanent gap in your defense, and this wasn't the first Pantsir to be taken out. In the SBU report published on February 14th, one day before the attack, the Ukrainian Security Service claims it destroyed about half of all operational Russian Pantsir systems in the past year. That's right, 50% of the Russian inventory. The total value amounts to $4 billion in eliminated air defense. Imagine you have 10 guards protecting your house, and over the course of a year, 5 of them disappear. Now you need to cover the same area with half the personnel. Some places end up completely unprotected. That's exactly what's happening in the Russian sky right now. And the pattern of attacks makes this even clearer. Between December of last year and February of this year, Ukraine attacked Tamaneftegaz 3 times, and the way these attacks progressed shows a very specific strategy. On December 22nd, drones hit the terminal. There was moderate damage. Russia repaired the structure and moved on. Then on January 21st, drones hit again. According to the governor of Krasnodar, Veniamin Kodratve, 4 storage tanks caught fire this time. The estimated damage was around $50 million. Russia repaired it again and reinforced the defenses around the terminal. Then we get to February 15th. This time, Ukraine didn't send drones. They sent the Flamingo, and before the Flamingo reached the target, they destroyed another Pantsir that was protecting the area. Do you see the pattern? Each attack prepares the ground for the next one, and this is where the Flamingo changes everything. Manufactured by Firepoint, a Ukrainian company, the missile has a range of 3,000 kilometers and carries an explosive payload of 1,150 kilograms. It uses navigation that reads the terrain, which means it works even when Russia blocks GPS signals. The missile flies extremely low, following the contours of the ground, making it very difficult to detect. And the company's goal is to produce 7 missiles per day by October 2026. If they manage to hit that goal, we're talking about more than 200 missiles per month. That completely changes the equation. The first time Flamingo was used in combat happened just 3 days before the attack on Tamaneftegaz on February 12th. According to Ukrainian intelligence reports, Flamingo missiles hit the Grau arsenal in Kotlubin and the Kapustin Yar missile test base. Both targets are more than 800 kilometers from the Ukrainian border. No Russian target is truly safe now. And here is the crucial detail. Until February 2026, every deep Ukrainian strike inside Russian territory required Western authorization. Missiles like Storm Shadow and ATACMS all came with geographic restrictions. Both the United States and the United Kingdom had to approve the targets. The Flamingo eliminates all of that at once. It's independent production, independent decision, independent execution. Now, going back to that night of February 15th, the Russian Ministry of Defense stated that it intercepted 88 Ukrainian drones over the Black Sea and southern Russia. 88 drones in a single night. Ukraine launches massive swarms of drones, many of them just distractions to completely overwhelm Russian air defenses. This forces Russian operators to choose what they're going to try to shoot down. And while they're busy shooting down cheap $50,000 drones using missiles that cost $1 million each, Flamingo slips under the radar. Each attack costs Russia more to defend than it costs Ukraine to attack. And you know what's even worse for the Russians? The production of complex air defense systems, like the Pantsir, takes years. You need sophisticated electronic components, advanced radars, guided missiles. All of this depends on supply chains that have been severely cut by Western sanctions. Russia simply can't manufacture new Pantsers faster than Ukraine can destroy them. Ukraine, on the other hand, is ramping up local production. The math is against Putin. Now, remember when I mentioned the moment this attack happened, 48 hours before the Geneva negotiations? That was extremely calculated. On February 6th, President Zelensky publicly revealed that the United States had set a deadline. A peace agreement needs to be reached by June 2026. The Trump administration wants to end American involvement in the conflict. This deadline creates a window of only 4 months, where both sides will intensify attacks as much as possible to gain bargaining positions. And that's exactly what we're seeing happen. On the Russian side, we see massive attacks against Ukrainian electrical infrastructure. On February 3rd, according to the energy company DT Tech, Russia launched what was described as the most powerful attack of the year against power plants and electrical substations. The strategy is clear: to force a humanitarian crisis and weaken Ukraine's negotiating position. On the Ukrainian side, we see deep attacks against Russia's economic capacity. Oil terminals, military arsenals, air defense systems. The strategy is also clear: to prove that the interior of Russia is vulnerable and that any ceasefire without strong guarantees will only give Moscow time to prepare for the next phase. The crucial difference now is that Ukraine has the capability to intensify attacks on its own. Flamingo doesn't depend on decisions made in Washington or Berlin. Moscow can no longer appeal to Western governments to cut off the supply of weapons. And going back to the Tamaneftegaz terminal, the terminal is not just about oil. According to operational capacity data, when you interrupt the fuel flow there, it affects the entire chain. Refineries that are further inland in Russian territory need to reduce production because they can't store the surplus. The Black Sea Fleet has to get fuel from more distant ports. The entire logistics chain that supports Russian military operations in southern Ukraine is compromised, and the geographic detail matters. The terminal is just 15 kilometers from the Crimean Bridge. Ukraine doesn't need to destroy the bridge itself, which is extremely well defended. It can simply weaken all the surrounding infrastructure until the bridge becomes less operationally useful. This is economic warfare being waged with missiles, and the specific location of the Pantsir destroyed in Kacha was also not a coincidence. Kacha is a historic airbase near Sevastopol, where the Black Sea Fleet keeps its anti-submarine helicopters. These helicopters are crucial for detecting Ukrainian naval drones, which have already sunk or damaged several Russian ships. Without air cover coming from Kacha, the entire fleet becomes more vulnerable. It's a domino effect of weaknesses. Each piece of the defense system that falls ends up exposing the next one. So what can we expect going forward? Well, if the June deadline holds, and everything indicates that it will, the next 4 months are going to be the most intense of the entire war. Both sides are going to escalate to the maximum. Ukraine will keep targeting Russian economic infrastructure and air defense systems. Russia will keep trying to advance territorially in the east and destroy Ukraine's power generation capacity. The difference is that now Ukraine has military independence. It doesn't depend on third parties. It can attack when, where, and how it wants. And every Pantsir system that disappears from the Russian inventory makes that independence more lethal and more effective. The attack on February 15th wasn't just another attack in a long list. It was a calculated demonstration. A message sent 48 hours before Russian and Ukrainian negotiators sat down in the same room in Geneva. As if to say, we have the tools, we have the determination, and you can't stop us. And the hard reality for Moscow right now is that this message is correct. What do you think? Do you believe that the systematic destruction of Russian air defense systems puts Ukraine in a better position at the negotiating table? Leave your opinion in the comments. If you found this analysis useful, subscribe to the channel and share it with those following this conflict. I'll see you in the next video.